So good afternoon. My name is Scott Forcino with eXp Realty in New York City metro area. I started PlugIntro to give real estate professionals a chance to promote their business and assist others in promoting their own business and themselves. Today we have with us the Ashley Vance, important real estate broker in a certain part of Southern Florida, and we want to hear more about her business, the market, and how she can help you buy or sell in this area. Good morning.
Good morning.
Afternoon.
Yes. How are you?
So tell me, great. Tell me about you and how long you're in this market and a broker and what's going on in your area.
I moved here from New York about 11 years ago, which was the best decision of my life. And I started real estate about 8 years ago. What's going on down here now? I mean, we had that big influx of New Yorkers or the North that kind of just, they mass moved here. And it drove our market really, really high. Where now, because of the interest rates, it's definitely slowed down. But it's really just leveled it out at this point. I don't see it crashing. I don't see it completely falling apart. There's just too many people that want to live here.
Sure. Well, why are some of those reasons? Why do people want to move to Florida?
It is 365 days of beautiful weather. So it really does get a little chilly here. I know I'll say chilly and take it with a grain of salt coming from New York, but it does get chilly here in the winter. We do have some cold nights where the hot tub is perfect. You can wear your boots, you can get your little sweater, in, but it's beautiful weather regardless all the time. And that alone takes a lot of stress out of your life. I feel that it's a lot less of a stressful life. You're not getting parking tickets all the time. You're not sitting in massive traffic all the time. It's just an easier, simpler life.
Sure. Plus, you're eating dinner outside and you're not hibernating for a good part of the year.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
That's why people, historically have come down. What about other things? What about your state income tax? Is that different, or your real estate taxes?
That is, we have no state income tax, which is fabulous. So a lot of people are scared to move because they know that their salaries for most regular jobs will decrease. In sales, it's really not like that. And honestly, I feel that Florida has been catching up because so many people are coming here, and it is not as cheap as it was before to live. So I feel that we really are coming up in the pay grades. But because you're not paying state income tax, you're keeping your money. Whereas in New York, if you make over 100,000, close to 200,000, they're taking half of that. So really, you're only making half of that. So if you come here and make half of that, you're actually keeping half of it.
Interesting. And the real estate taxes on maybe a comparable home?
The real estate taxes are high. If it's your primary home, you have something called a homestead here, where they're only allowed to raise it 3% a year, which is very minimal. And you also get a tax break of about $1,000 per every $250,000 that the house is worth. So that really does save you a lot of money. On investments, you're going to pay the taxes, but the investments cover it. You're still in the positive. That's what makes a good investment.
It's interesting. So what should people expect in the different markets? I mean, what are, based on the change in circumstances, how can you help others get their offer accepted, and how can you help sellers get the best offer for their property?
I think that we have to be creative now. And what I think is, instead of waiting for the interest rates to drop, which we don't know when that's going to be, I think that you have more purchasing power now because everybody's kind of holding their breath waiting for that. So you're in a market where there's not a million people trying to get that. When the interest rates drop again, that you're going to once again be in a position where everybody's trying to get the same thing, which then again, people will just be paying, they'll be paying cash or paying more than the house is worth, just like they did this past winter. So as of now, I feel that if you were able to work something out with the seller, where instead of me coming to a seller and saying, hey, drop your house, $40,000, I can say the buyer will still pay this amount, but I prefer you to take that $40,000 and buy the buyer's rate down. That will buy the buyer's rate down for the lifetime of the loan. which will give them a lower interest rate, and everybody kind of will be breaking even at that point, and it satisfies both parties.
Yeah, that's the new innovative approach. I know that people are talking about how to make it easier for buyers and more attractive to sellers. And I think I love what you said, because I see that as the trend too. A price reduction throws money away, whereas this price reduction can help both parties.
Yes.
And that's innovative. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yes.
And what about the days in the market? Are properties sitting like they were flying off the shelves before? Are they sitting around more?
They're sitting. I mean, we're in our slow time right now. August, September, and October are a little slow. People are getting back into the mix of school with their families, and it is still beautiful up north. You know, you're getting the fall, you're getting the holidays coming, so people do enjoy that family time. So it's usually right after that is when the influx comes here. Even though we are seeing the New York plates, that's when most of the people come down here, and that's when, if they're not already down here, they're not happy up there, and they're coming here on vacation. They're looking into getting a second home. They're looking into getting an investment home where they can use it and then also rent it when they're not using it. So we will be seeing that very soon.
Interesting. So what are the areas you serve? Or is it Delray, Boca? Let us know about those markets.
All of Palm Beach County, down to all the way to Miami-Dade. I've lived in Miami before, so I know Miami pretty well. Kind of, if you want a condo, if you want to do a house down there's a lot of opportunity down there as well. It's just a little bit more saturated. It's calmer up here, and I feel that a lot of our people tend to be more in the Delray, Boca area, West Palm Beach, Palm Beach Islands, those areas.
Yeah, that's really. I have a cousin who's really focused totally on Miami, and I told him, check out Palm Beach County. It's very, very different feel, even more family. But I know there's some really attractive touristy or nightlife. Tell me about Delray or Boca. How's that?
Well, Delray has the nightlife, not Boca. Boca is definitely more low key. It's classy. You go there for dinner. Definitely more low key. Delray has Atlantic Avenue. It is every week something new opens there. Grand opening of something else. Delray has everything that you could ever ask for. I've watched it when I moved here. Was about 7 years ago, and I watched it turn from a tiny little cutesy beach town into the 6th borough of New York City. It's beautiful now. They have everything that you can think of food wise. It has become a food mecca. Miami is a food mecca, but Delray, any type of food that you want is there. You have rooftops. You have beautiful hotels. You have entertainment for all ages. So you have, bars for your 20s, bars for your 30s, bars for your 40s, bars for your 50s. Really, we have something for everyone there.
Sure. I mean, it makes sense that growing up, we went on vacations, but it was never really thought as New Yorkers to come here. It seemed to be spring breakers or your grandparents.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what they told you. I feel that a lot of times as New Yorkers, they tell us that we, that you can't survive anywhere else, that you're not going to make, the pay grade anywhere else. They also give you a little bit of that family pressure. I don't know if you're Italian, but the Italians make you never leave them. So it's a little family pressure to never leave, but they're all now.
Yeah. And I'm sure they want to come in. Now you have paradise for the hibernation months.
Yes. It's absolute paradise here.
That's nice to see. Well, who do you work with? I mean, I don't need to know names, but what are the typical services you provide as far?
You cut out for a second. Typical services.
I'm saying as a resource for someone who comes to Florida and doesn't know what they're doing. I'm sure you have the real estate providers, but what about the resources for really everyone's new home needs?
I mean, I have a network of really everyone that you can think of here. I do a lot of renovations, a lot of work with a lot of investors. Most of my clients are from up north, so a lot of them don't even see what they buy. They just see it virtually via, FaceTime, the pictures, things like that. And then I can renovate everything for them. I can get it all rented for them. And then I property manage it as well. I have my own property management company that does that. So we have cleaners, if it's Airbnb, doing the shuffle, if you need a mortgage broker, a title person, really anything, a decorator, a landscaper, a pool guy, an alarm person. I have lists of people who can help you with anything that you need.
I mean, that's such a great thing for peace of mind, because it's scary coming into a new place and having nobody. I've always been of the belief that your real estate agent should be the source for all the things you need.
I definitely agree as well. I've even had some people come and stay in the Airbnb, one of the ones that I own in Delray. They'll come and spend a month there saying, I want to feel out the area. And I many times have even invited them to the beach. I've invited them out, with my friends and I, so that they really get, a residential type of experience here as opposed to just a tourist experience.
Right. It is quite a bit different. So what do you think when, people come and go for a vacation and it's time to get back on the plane? What are you thinking when Monday just is another day?
I mean, I think they're a little bit crazy. I mean, most of them, they cry a little bit. They'll text me and say, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave. But I feel that most of them end up coming back a lot. I'm very surprised at how many people have moved here in the past few years. A lot of people came during COVID because we were a little bit more free down here. And, at the end of the day, we were still able to ride our bikes and, go for a run out with fresh air. And, so the people that came during COVID, most of them never left. They just went home, they got their stuff, and then they came back down.
Well, of course, you're right. I mean, and there's probably no greater corridor than the New York, New Jersey, or even New England area to come to Florida than, for the vacation, for the second home. There's really probably no other place in America that goes directly all day long like a bus. I mean, look at
Yes.
New York to Orlando all day long.
Yes. Oh, yeah. All day. Multiple airports you have access to, and it really is just such a quick flight. 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and you're here.
That's great. Do you happen to get back to New York? I mean, and see people and friends, and do you do that much?
Sometimes, only when the weather's nice, though. Or at least I try. I try to only go when the weather's nice. I always like to go up in the summer, stay for a week, see my friends, see my family, catch up with everyone. But a lot of times people end up just, if I get to see them here, I kind of don't need to go there. I feel that it's a very stressful place. And when you live here, you don't realize how stressful it is up there until you live here.
Sure. I remember always, you wake up in the morning in the winter and you see traffic on the BQE and the red light. And then you say, how on TV? And I've been in those snarls to get out to the island or the city. It's a different thing. So so tell me, if someone's interested, of course, where do they start? They start with your website or Zillow. Where do you direct them to start looking?
Absolutely, contact me directly. I wouldn't recommend Zillow or Realtor, any of those websites, because they don't really give you all of the accurate information. So a lot of times you'll be looking there and you're going to find things that are in 55 and over complexes or country clubs where there's $100,000 membership, but they're not telling you that on Zillow. So I've had that happen many times. I'm sure that most realtors do. You'll get somebody, send you a listing and they're like, oh, this house, I love it. This is the one I want for $350,000. It's a mega mansion, but it's because it's in a country club where you're going to pay $100,000 and then $30,000 a year. And they're not giving you all that information on Zillow. So the best bet is, if you are interested, is to contact me directly. Most likely, just my number is always listed. You can send me a text or give me a call, send me a DM or a message on Facebook or Instagram, and then I will call you, and then we're going to see, what you're looking for. And then the next step would be to get you pre-qualified. So we see exactly what you can afford, because a lot of times we think that we can afford a certain amount, but it turns out to be a different way. And then we can work with you to move some money around and do certain things to get you where you need to be to buy the house that you really want. And then we'll start looking on the MLS. I will directly send you listings from the MLS where I personally put all the information in. I tailor it to your needs directly, and then we go through the list together.
I call that real A+ service, gold 4-star service to get that kind of, I think it's important just to have the insight which community or even which school system would serve a person better based on your kid's age, based on your family needs.
Yes.
You know, I when I drive around, sometimes I think, wow, I'm glad that I was told in a decent area, because the area is, I don't mean decent in one way, but is one that serves you with stores, with the gym, things that you're going to actually use instead of being 30 minutes away. And let's be real, that would really hurt the experience.
Yes, that's why the phone call, I'm a very hands-on person. I don't like to just go back and forth through email. I prefer to speak on the phone and then go to the text message. But I want to know who I'm dealing with, what your family structure is, what you're into, what your hobbies are, what exactly it is, how old your children are, because that also does make a difference in the school districts. Because some school districts are only good, when they're little kids, and then when you get into high school, they're not so great. So all of those things really matter, and what we look for will be tailored to those needs.
Well, something that people may not know is that there's something exciting, is that Bright Line. What's the deal with the Bright Line?
The Bright Line now goes directly to Miami. So you can catch it in West Palm, and it takes you right down to Miami. It is luxury all day long. They have food, they have drinks. You can just put your feet up and relax and have a great time. You can work. It also has a great ability because you can work in Miami and live up here if necessary, because not everyone wants to live in that, party scene type of Miami environment. A lot of them would prefer living up here, but they'll work for a financial firm that's based in Brickell in Miami. That's where they're going to make the most money. So now they have the ability to live in their big house up here, come get their peace, and then go down there to work. Kind of the same way that people do live in Westchester and then commute to Manhattan.
Yeah, that's the thing that surprised me. And that, I mean, you could almost eat off the floors of that thing. It was crazy when I saw that.
Beautiful. It's really cool.
Plus no driving.
No driving, no driving, and no drinking and driving. You go to the Marlins, you can see the baseball game. You can go down to see the Dolphins play. They're doing great this year, surprisingly. So you can go do all that and enjoy yourself, and then not have to worry about sitting in traffic. And then, how much you can drink as well by having to get back in the car.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're talking lifestyle, and that's what I think people want to hear about, that because they want to realize that maybe the gain from their equity of their home in the New York metro area, and then have a better lifestyle, and maybe, let their adult age kids come and visit them. We don't have forever, so why not enjoy yourself if it's financially possible?
I agree entirely. And people also don't realize that usually when one comes, the rest of them follow. I moved here all by myself, and I have moved practically my entire family here, as well as a ton of friends and their families as well. They get a little taste of it, and it's pretty hard to go back there, in February when you have to shovel your car out at 5 in the morning.
Oh, how many times have I done that? And you scratch the windshield, and you're cursing, and it takes 20 minutes. Oh boy.
Yeah,
for sure. We've all done that so many times. But now you don't have to. So, Ashley, I'm so happy we got this chance to talk. I learned a lot, and I think it's great that you let people know how you can serve their needs, both on a personal and on a professional level. And I think you're the right person for the job.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Okay, what is your phone number so people know how to reach you?
It is 646-265-6412. I'll say it again, 646-265-6412.
Right. Okay, well, thanks a lot. I mean, we're going to make sure that this message gets to your contacts and your people so they can spread the word and let people know what a great resource you are for their home buying and selling needs.